What's going on, Washington Commanders Nation? It's your boy Rio Robinson, back with the latest and greatest on the Rambling with Rio YouTube channel, where we ramble about the Washington Commanders. Today is Friday, May 10th, and we officially kicked off the on-field era of Jayden Daniels being the quarterback here in Washington with his first rookie minicamp here with the Commanders. As you can see, JD5 and Cliff Kingsbury on the field getting busy. What a time it is to be excited for a fan. We're at that point of the offseason where every single iteration of content gets us going. Like, we were excited for the jersey numbers to release last night because Washington was the last of 32 teams to release its jersey numbers. And like I told a lot of you before we drafted this guy, if Jayden Daniels was going to be the selection at number 2, he was going to get whatever number he wanted. And his brand is around JD5. He's been JD5 since high school through college. He was going to get it in the league. And Tress is a good guy, all-world human. We all love Tress Way. Nobody's hating on Tress Way. But when I say the words, he's a punter, I mean that shit. I'll double, triple down on it. Love Tress Way. Phenomenal guy. He had to think about it. He had to talk to his wife about it, who eventually probably told him for real, like, babe, he's the quarterback. Just give him the number. It does not matter. But like I did say, though, numbers do matter. So for everybody saying, why do y'all even care what numbers guys are wearing? Because they matter. And quarterback got his number 5. Love the aura. Love the drip around it. Looks super clean. He didn't have much to pick from in other options. He had to get number 5. Sandra still has come in to snatch the 2 off of De'Ami Brown's chest like T.I. did Lauren London in the movie ATL. Love it. I wish he could wear number 0, but you probably got a much better chance at plucking the number off a receiver who may not make the roster than you do off the confirmed backup quarterback. Luke McCaffrey rocking number 12. It looked good on him at the Senior Bowl, so that definitely passes the vibe check for me, as long as they didn't force him in like an 80s number or something ugly like number 19. I'm with the shits for that. Jordan McGee in number 58. I dig it. I dig it as probably the 4th linebacker on the roster right now, 4th in the pecking order. I don't hate it. 58 looks more like a edge rushing guy, but it's slim pickings in the linebacker room right now, especially Luvu jumped out there with a single digit. So this is my deep dive of jersey numbers. We're going to talk a little bit about minicamp. There's not too much to talk about because we're not going to on-depth break it down like we do training camp, but I wanted to start with the numbers. Brandon Coleman, I want to put some respect on your name. 74 is definitely a very tackly number. You know how old girl said during the season, quarterbacky? Just adding a Y at the end of words just makes so much sense. I love it. Like, I love it. Even though the context is a little crazy when she said it, I've definitely added quarterbacky and just started putting Y's at the end of words when it comes to content. Brandon Coleman looks like a left tackle. When he got out the Suburban and arrived at North Virginia Training Center at Commanders Park yesterday, he looks a lot more tackly than I thought he would. And the 74 is going to cement it. Hopefully he's not the next Jerron Christian, but he definitely looks like a left tackle. Dominic Hampton in 45. It looks fitting of a young guy whose contribution is going to be more significantly in special teams than on the field. On-field safeties wearing 45, not it. You're going to be out here looking like TJ Duckett in the secondary. Not a fan. 82 for Ben Sinnott. Love this. I definitely did not want to see him in some forced-ass fullback number. I know they say he has like fullback, H-back versatility, but I want him to be a tight end. So him being in a primary tight end-like number suits him very well. He gets to wear 82 like the former Logan Paulson, former tight end of the Commanders, guy who helps run the show Command Center, which has been absolutely phenomenal. I like 82 for Ben Sinnott, and that guy's a unit. Have you seen him? He's huge, man. He's huge. We might have got us one with him, bro. Second tight end off the board. We liked him that much. We got him out the way early. 95 for Johnny Newton, who started rookie minicamp in a boot. No need to rush that guy. Let him heal up, let him ice up, let him shake back for training camp, or let him be good by the time mandatory mini camp comes around. 95 has become the rite of passage for baller Washington Commanders defensive tackles. Jonathan Allen wore 95 as a rookie, hopped into 93 when it became available. Deron Payne wore 95 as a rookie, changed over to 94 when it became available the next year. So maybe this is the transition we will see. Maybe he will transition into another number, but he was never going to be able to wear the single digit like he wore in college, even if it was available, because defensive tackles don't meet the threshold for the number requirement. But 95 tells me that he's in line with good company. John Allen Ward, rookie year, Payne Ward, rookie year, and it probably means he won't be staying in this number for too long if another better number comes along. But Jean Baptiste at number 90, that's cool. He's taking Montez Sweat's old jersey. I'm really liking the number swag, and the numbers conversation is a real thing. I will always keep it alive. I will always overanalyze numbers. Mikey Sanders still is an absolute dog. The way he walks, the way he carries himself, the way he communicates. This dude was born to be an NFL player. And I'm very excited to see number 2 out there starting and being one of the leaders on this defense. This is a guy who was a wide receiver who seamlessly transitioned to being a DB. I'm very excited to see how that turns out. But ultimately, that number 5, that jersey is going to sell like crack in the 80s. Blue magic, like Heisenberg meth on Breaking Bad. Get you a number 5 jersey. Let's fill that ugly ass stadium up with number 5 jerseys and with whatever number that Tress Way buys. If you want to buy his jersey, you want to support him because he's a world-class human, I ain't mad at you. Me personally, I'm not buying a punter's jersey, but to each their own. And you will not shame me for standing on business and holding to my opinion. There's a pecking order and there's levels to this thing. And the quarterback is the linchpin of the organization. So if you don't understand that, too bad. The quarterback got the number. Moving on. Rookie minicamp today. We're not going to sit here and break down, Jayden Daniels went 6 for 6 and 7 on 7. We're not going to do any of that. Let's just talk about the demeanor at minicamp today. Did you guys watch that drill they were doing to start off practice? I don't know if it was like footwork or like stretching or something, but everybody was making noise. Coaches were running up and down the field, getting them hyped. There was music playing. The vibes just seemed very vibey, man. It just seems like a different team. It just seems like a whole bunch of guys that get it. Like we hired a bunch of guys who aren't here for play, who aren't just here because they know each other through relationships, through nepotism. There's a crew of people who are trying to see results. And you're not going to take too much away from the on-field aspects of rookie minicamp, but I'm just watching the quarterback. I want to watch his mechanics. I want to watch his release. The release looks lovely. The mechanics look great. This is a pro-ready quarterback. I know you hate to hear those words. It's one of the 1,000 draft cliches and platitudes that gets drilled into our mental Rolodex during draft season. He's not a raw quarterback. Does he run a lot? Yes, he does. There's nothing raw about this quarterback. This quarterback is mentally set. It's why guys like Dan Orlovsky and Louis Riddick still stand on business and say he's up there with Caleb and he might be over Caleb. We'll see all that. And they're on the schedule. I'll be anxiously anticipating when we play Chicago on the schedule. And speaking of Chicago, Eberflus got right to the shits. They didn't waste no time in Chicago. Caleb Williams is our starting quarterback. They came straight out with it. We're not going to sit here and formality you to death and pretend like a quarterback competition is taking place. Caleb Williams is the starter there. I don't think Jayden's in a competition for the starting quarterback position, but I think it's going to be similar to how Bryce Young and CJ Stroud were treated last year and Anthony Richardson, where they're not going to come out and declare it till like mid-training camp, but you're going to see he's getting 100% of the starters reps, and he's going to be treated as the starter immediately. Like you're going to see when the vets mesh with the rookies, he's going to get QB1 treatment throughout the entire offseason. So there's no competition here. They're just probably going to wait till later to declare, to give him the kind of earn it stigma. I don't know. Doesn't matter. But Jayden looked good. Seeing him throw the Luke McCaffrey, undrafted receiver, Marcus Rosemy St. Jack. I hope I'm pronouncing that name right. That's a wild ass name to me. We're gonna have to call him MRJ or MRS. We'll come up with a nice nickname for him. He made a nice one-hand catch on a yuck ball, hopefully thrown by someone that's not named Jayden Daniels. He has some size, and he has a very interesting role to play here during this offseason because outside of Jahan, Terry, and Luke McCaffrey, there are no certainties at the receiver position. I would say Crowder probably has a spot locked up, most importantly, because he's the primary return guy here. But other than Crowder, nothing's promised to be on this roster. Diami's on the bubble this year. Mitchell Tinsley, Dax Milne, Kaz. We don't have any certainties outside of our top three receiver. So a guy like Rosemy St. Jack coming out of a Georgia program, championship pedigree, vet, has good size to add to the room. And I know Cliff Kingsbury wants to feature 3, 4, 5 receiver sets a lot in this air raid offense or whatever version of the air raid we're going to get because Cliff doesn't want to be typecasted to just an air raid guy. But yeah, man, like he has one of the most, St. Jack has one of the most biggest roles. He has the biggest opportunity presented to him of all the undrafted guys. So I say if you play tackle, if you play wide receiver, you have the best chance to making this team as an undrafted guy. You know, you can Mitchell Tinsley this thing up and get on this roster. But just seeing Jayden out there slinging it around, throwing it to Luke McCaffrey. Luke McCaffrey's a dude, man. You can tell he's got easy edge genetics in him. Everything looks easy to him. He has good feet. And being a former quarterback, he's going to learn this. He's going to process this playbook and digest this offense seamlessly because as a quarterback, you have to know what everybody's responsibility is. So wide receivers that were once quarterbacks, that's a good transition because your grasp of the knowledge and the information that's being presented to you comes smoother. Luke McCaffrey's going to start. He's going to be out there with Terry and Jahan a lot, very early. There's a reason we took him in the 3rd round of the NFL draft. I'm excited to see him mix with the guys. Seeing Brandon Coleman out there in that big number 74, he looks tackly, man. He looks like a left tackle. I am praying he's a left tackle. If Brandon Coleman ends up being our starting left tackle and ends up working out, this is a grand slam of a draft class because we only drafted one lineman when we know we needed some help at both of those tackle spots. They could developing guys could be the difference between this crew and the last crew because we didn't appear to get the most out of our players, whether the guys were the right selection or not. For whatever reason, we were so concerned before about sticking to our scheme, our structure, rather than curtailing and acquiescing to the guys that we selected. And I think this crew is going to be a little bit different. Cliff Kingsbury has a little bit more energy than I expected him to have. The shoe game's fire. He had on the Travis Scott Mac attacks. Dan Quinn had on the Concord. The aura is different right now at Commanders Park. You can see it. The swagger, the demeanor, the aura, everything is upbeat. Cliff Kingsbury is a lot more loud and you can tell he is just salivating over the prospect of coaching a guy like Jayden Daniels. Like he's getting a guy with similar to Kyler traits, but he's getting a guy that's actually like 6'4" and can see over the line. So it's a little bit different. It's not an obstructed view like Tyler's little ass running around the size of Sonic in the backfield trying to create passing lanes. Jayden can actually see them and open them up because that's very important on an offense that's attacking every blade of grass on the defensive side. I'm excited, man. It's just vibes right now. There's nothing too in-depth that we need to take away from minicamp other than eye tests, things like footwork, demeanor, how the guys are responding to coaching, the coach's approach to the whole situation, and it all looks good. Just seeing that number 5 jersey out there, Jayden definitely looks like he's put on some good muscle during the draft process, bro. He's not as twiggy as he looked during the LSU football season. Shit, Lamar Jackson's down to 205 pounds, so currently Jayden weighs more than the reigning MVP. Weight shouldn't be an issue here. He got the visor on, that Cinco looking clean, black long sleeves. You love to see it. Missed y'all this week. I've been working my ass off. I done worked about 70 hours in 4 days this week, and now we rest like Thanos. But each day of rookie mini camp, as practices conclude, I'm going to come on and see what they were talking about. The media seems very impressed with the way Jayden Daniels drop back release and mechanics look. I was watching the live stream of the practice, and Santana was like, whoo, that boy release is clean. That boy's release is clean. It comes out clean. I think he has more whip and more snap to his arm than people expected when you see it up close, because it's one thing watching the games, him throwing to open receivers, that he did not necessarily have to put velocity on it. And there's another thing watching him during the pro day with shorts and stuff on, going through the motions and not giving it his full capabilities. But it's another thing when he has the helmet on, he's in your building, and you can watch how he throws it next to guys like Sam Hartman and company. Sam Hartman, the heartthrob of the fan base. Nobody wants to see him on a football field right now, but it's nice to have him in the building, out here looking like Johnny Damon with a samurai bun. Shout out to that guy. Sam Hartman, another one of the undrafted free agents we need to be watching out for. I'll be looking to hear from guys like Tyler Owens, the freaky ass safety we got from Texas Tech. But it's day one of rookie minicamp. Rookies are coming in to get their feet wet, and next week they're going to be acclimated and intertwined with the veterans on the roster for OTA practices, and then we got mandatory minicamp coming up in June. I am so excited. Numbers have been issued. JD5 is a thing. Go out and get you a Jayden Daniels jersey. Let's fill that goddamn stadium up with Jayden Daniels jerseys. Let's all buy in. Let's all support the quarterback. I see the media and I see some fans that are already being fucking weird with Jayden Daniels. Stop fishing for a reason to not root for your quarterback. Buy in, just like you did with our bum-ass backup quarterbacks in years past. Y'all can sit here and plan a future around Jags with noodle arms that wouldn't be in the NFL if COVID didn't exist. Then y'all should be able to buy in to the second overall pick of the NFL draft. Cut the weird shit out in media. Cut out the weird fucking coverage and over sensationalized bullshit of trivial things when it comes to covering the quarterback. Because I see the weird shit happening. You see it too. And I want to call that shit out. What are we talking about? A bet between Jayden Daniels and Malik Neighbors for $10,000. We really gonna sit here and act like that's a big deal? Like, what are we doing, guys? Like, what are we actually doing? Guys talking about our Washington fans are more as excited about Sam Hartman as Jayden Daniels. You're tweaking. You're completely. What are y'all talking about? Did Tress Wade make the right move? We're talking about a punter. What are we talking about, Mo? What are we talking about? Breathe, recalibrate, and honestly hold some of that shit, because we don't need a lot of this content and a lot of this unnecessary bullshit. Like, everybody has just morphed into the sports junkies out of nowhere. The sports junkies are there to entertain. I don't want to hear any actual relevant or rational sports conversation by the sports junkies. Support the quarterback, support the team. And I don't care what you call this team. Show up on Sundays if you can. Support, rock the colors. Call this team a division winner. Call this team a conference winner. Call this team a Super Bowl champion. I could give a fuck not what you call the nickname of this franchise, because most names in sports are bad. And I never cared for the former name either. It's the name of a football team. This is my squad. I'm going to ride with it regardless. That's where I stand on all this dumbass name change narrative shit that happens because there's nothing going on the field at this time of year. But today was day one of rookie minicamp. Support the quarterback, support the coaching staff, support the front office, and support the goddamn franchises, and shut the fuck up. Let's not try to unnecessarily divulge drama and look for outs with the quarterback before you even watch them play a game. Do better, Washington. That's all I got for right now. Hail to the Washington Commanders. Until next time, your boy Rio out.